For nearly 40 years, the best poker players in the world have gathered in Las Vegas to compete for the most illustrious award their sport has to offer. A World Series title and the bracelet that goes with it. Many say that the glory of winning is worth even more than the mountain of title. One bracelet, only one winner. And leading the American invasion, the most successful player of all time, Phil Helmuth.
This is my first bracelet. I'm here to win my 12th. Let's go, baby. It's time to show the world why I'm the best poker player in the world. Just trying to be the king of England. I'm having a lot of fun in London.
Yeah, baby.
That's what it's about, baby. Bracelets. That's why we're over here. Bracelets. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it on time. I have my own bus. More girls.
The Empire Casino, the Sportsman and 50 St James are hosting the World Series of Poker Europe, presented by Betfair.com. The players inside have staked £10,000 of their own money in the quest for a first prize that will make one of them an instant millionaire. Phil Helmuth there, looking relaxed, but as we can see, he's got plenty of reasons to be calm. He leads the gallery of bracelet winners competing in London. And make no mistake, this event really has attracted the cream of the crop. We've got the three winningest players of all time, Helmuth, Doyle Brunson and Johnny Chan, as well as former world champ Scotty Wynn. And another great poker player, I'm happy to say, is sitting right next to me. It's bracelet winner Robert Williamson III. Are you a fan of Phil, Robert?
Well, Phil's a personal friend, but on the poker table, there are no friends. So it's a war out there.
Do you think he'll make mincemeat of this table?
Well, I know he likes every table, so this should be no exception for Phil.
Okay, well, Dossin completing there. Round to the button. A fold, and now it's Marco Traniello. He's picked up ace-10 in clubs.
Marco tends to play a lot of pots, so I think he's going to play a lot of hands at this table.
Phil himself, in the big blind, has found jacks.
Well, first you walk in with a lot of beautiful ladies, and then he walks into two jacks.
You wanted to raise, let me help you out a little bit. 17.
Tells Dossin that he wanted to raise. Dossin would be well advised to keep those earmuffs on, I think.
This is just the beginning.
But he hasn't scared anybody. Sinister smile on Helmuth's face. He'll be licking those lips soon. Let's see what this flop does for him. Well, does more for Marco.
Yeah, one overcard. Flush draw for Marco Traniello.
Continuation bet here?
Absolutely. You got to try to take this pot down right there, right then.
Well, he's got rid of Dossin, but Marco going nowhere with the nut flush draw. Phil smiles, but Marco will want to see something clover-shaped, and it is.
Well, that's actually not a bad card for Phil. He might minimize his damage here. Phil's such a great player, he probably can get away from this without too much damage.
Well, Marco betting out. Phil may suspect he needs to hit one of those two jacks.
I knew you'd want to give them to me, Marco. I knew it. $2,600? I'm going to get you today, Marco. You're going to bust yourself against me. I'm going to predict it. It's going to come down just... Oh, yeah, jacks.
Come on.
I'm going to bust you today.
If you have ace king, I would show. Two jacks. It wasn't easy like that, especially for you.
Yeah, but you're going to get involved with me in a hand like you probably had like king 10 or something and got put in more than you were supposed to. You got lucky.
I enjoy him. He talks so much. I mean, you know what he have for what I know. When he talk, he can tell you also his hand. If you ask, sometimes he tell you. If it's going too far, I just shut down and just think about my game. And I tell him, I say, I lost you at that point.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, this World Series event is so big it's being played simultaneously in 3 different casinos. Our TV table is at the Empire in Leicester Square. That's Leicester Square for you, Robert. But over at 50 St James, Liz Liu is up against John Juanda, who's all in for his tournament life. He's already standing up. Never a good sign. And that ace on the river is no help. A big, big scalp there for Liz.
Yep, be a long trip back home for John.
Another early loser, this time at the Sportsman, is circuit player Dave Smith. A sporting handshake, a wave goodbye to his £10,000 buy-in. And he's gone. And joining him on the sidelines, courtesy of Eric Seidel, is German pro Michael Kiner. Kiner won a bracelet in Vegas, but he can't repeat the trick nearer home. His ace-king losing to a straight.
I would like to stay 1 more day or 2 more days. Even first step was to go into the money, but the dream is over now. What can you do?
It's not been all bad news for the European contingent, however. There are 3 bracelets being competed for during this festival, and the first in the horse event has already gone to Thomas Biel of Germany. He was heads up against Jennifer Harman, one of the leading American players, and he had just enough gas to outlast her. As you can see, the small matter of winning £71,000 made him a pretty happy fella.
I'm just very proud to win the first ever bracelet in Europe. Some of my opponents might have underrated me a bit and might have not been aware of my strengths and weaknesses so much. I have the bracelet and the pressure is off.
Winning a bracelet has always been a goal of a lot of poker players, and these days it's become incredibly hard.
Bracelet means a lot.
As a poker player, that's kind of everyone's dream to win a bracelet.
That's a way of keeping score.
But it's about winning. It's all about these bracelets.
The bracelet is really the thing that they're after.
That's why I play the game.
There's like a club of bracelet winners, and everyone knows who's in it and who's not.
That means a lot. I mean, that shows you are one of the best players in the world.
Everybody wants to get one who hasn't got one, and anybody who's got one, they want to win some money.
That's really what they think about all the time, is bracelets. That's their goal.
It means you're a great player.
Most poker players wait their whole lives to win, and it was definitely a dream come true.
And there is the main event bracelet our players are competing for. Looks beautiful, but it can't tell the time like the £5 digital watch I won at the fairground. I don't know what all the fuss is about. Talking of things that don't need winding up, back to Phil Helmuth.
You gotta think in advance in this game, Marco. 3, 4, 5, 6 moves in advance. You tell someone to expect this, and then you give them exactly this.
Speaking of this is exactly why people play on the internet, so they don't have to listen to Phil Helmuth all the time.
You know what they're gonna do.
I know Phil's gonna tell us.
Looks like you're playing into their hands, but they're playing into your hands.
Ah.
It's practically Confucius. Marco certainly looks confused. On the button, Kelly has picked up 6-3 of diamonds. Undecided's position is good enough to play those. Marco once again has the ace-10. This time it's not suited. And Phil has picked up the Dolly Parton hand in diamonds. He's in for the big blind. He says, let's see a flop. And Phil has hit middle pair.
Check.
Marco's got a gut shot here, so he might play this hand too.
Should be enough to get rid of Kelly.
You think I flopped top 2 again? Last time I came the 7-9 jack, I had top 2, remember? And I bet out. I was mad at myself, remember? Could it happen? It's like picking up red jacks, like against Marco, but like 8 hands later. Doesn't seem likely, does it? You're just enjoying the speech, or?
I like listening to you.
Kelly gets out of the way. Marco calls.
And Phil's just trying to get into their heads right now. That's what's going on here.
Marco checks his flush and straight draws.
All right, I check.
Phil follows suit.
I prefer a lead out there. I would have tried to go ahead and take the pot down on the turn if I was Marco.
Well, he's got another chance now.
Well, especially once Phil's shown weakness behind him, he's going to have to fire at this one.
You really want to play with me, don't you? I can tell.
Phil folds.
I can tell, buddy.
You know, Phil got bluffed out of this pot, but he's still doing all the talking. Marco's dragging the chips.
You can't help it, Marco. I've got you just all locked up, locked in, baby. I even warned you. I'm gonna get you.
Poker makes sense to me, you know? I mean, I think it's a combination of understanding people and understanding odds. And, you know, back in the 80s, I invented a new style of poker. I started playing small bet poker, where I'd bet a lot of smaller bets. Maybe the pot had 10,000, I'd bet 2,000 or 1,000. And, you know, everybody kind of laughed at that. What's Phil doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. And I kept winning tournament after tournament. And all of a sudden, you know, 7 years later, small bet poker became very popular. And now, in 2007, it's all the rage.
Well, small bet poker leads to small pot poker, and that's smart poker.
Certainly has worked for Phil. 11 bracelets.
You're gonna bust yourself against me.
Phil chirping at Marco again.
It's not personal.
Yes, it is.
Marco has picked up ace-9 and makes a raise. Phil's got rags.
1,800.
And of course makes a re-raise.
He's going to try to dominate this table. The only way he can do that is raise and re-raise.
Well, the Frenchman Fougeron looks down. He's got wired 10s.
And hope nobody wakes up with a hand behind you like this.
All right, just a call. Fougeron not forcing the issue. And round to Marco, who abandoned ship, having seen a re-raise and a call. We're two-handed to the flop.
I check 2.
And a dark check by Fougeron. I hate that play. You can't apply any pressure to Phil Helmuth that way.
Well, it may work out for him because Phil has got a piece of that top pair. Will he bet it? No, they both check.
Amazing.
And now Phil's in front.
What a great card for Phil Helmuth here.
Fougeron bets. Phil re-raises. Insta-call there.
Jacks or queens?
Phil knows about what he has, don't worry.
Oh, and that is a get-out-of-jail card for Fougeron.
3, right?
And has counterfeited Phil's 2-pair.
Check.
Oh, just a 10s.
10s?
Yeah.
Those are good.
Show me. Show me. You have to show
You had me all the way, buddy.
You have to show me.
And Phil's commiserating the fact that he got lucky to get the best hand on the turn, and now Fougeron sucks out on the river.
He looks a bit cheesed off. Is Phil the sort of player who can start steaming?
You had the best hand for 18.
He may look like he's tilting, but I've played against him enough to know there's always an act when it comes to Phil Helmuth.
I got an advantage on him because I know how he's going to play. I have a strange story with Phil Helmuth. One day it was at the World Series of Poker, and he said to me, "But why do you raise me 3 times the big blind when I'm the big blind?" I said to him, "Because it's written in your book."
Over at the Sportsman, another of our shy retiring friends from across the ocean is livening up his outer table. It's Humberto Brenes of Costa Rica. He seems to have brought a couple of little friends with him, Robert.
He takes those sharks wherever he goes to protect his cards, but you play 2 hours and listen to him talk enough, and you'll want to send him swimming out there with them sharks.
Has he always been an extrovert?
He's always been a great player. The first 10 years I knew him, he was quiet as a church mouse. Last 5 since TV came to poker, he can't stop talking. Hey, Humberto, we're all hungry for chips, but enough is enough.
Meanwhile, back at the Empire, Mrs. Marco Traniella, better known as Jennifer Harman, is considering the all-in bet of Andy Block. She's got pocket kings. As we can see, she's a marginal favourite over Andy's 6s in the flush draw. This ain't Brokeback Mountain, and those cowboys aren't going to be laid down. She calls, and Andy shows her what she's up against.
Andy's actually better known as a member of the MIT Blackjack team, but he's a great poker player as well.
Well, he's all in. There is no more betting. And the turn card actually brings him some more outs. He now has an up and down straight draw as well. So Harman needs to dodge a 3, an 8, a 6 or a diamond. She's done it. And this is shaping up to be a very good fortnight for Jen Harman.
And back to blackjack for Andy.
A great player, but he still can't land that first elusive bracelet.
You know, I'm disappointed a little bit. Of course you are when you travel this far. I'm happy that I made the final table last night in the Omaha. So, you know, I'm not unhappy. I just wish I could have gotten some better cards and have them hold up.
Back to our feature table. The tickets are being printed. I'm sure Phil Helmuth is clearing his throat, ready to give another lecture to his lucky fellow players.
Now, the table's not so lucky that Phil picked up another pocket pair here.
The sick thing about this hand, it's so big I only want a limp end. No, I better min raise. 400.
Well, that ace-queen we saw belongs to Maria Maceras. She's reaching for chips.
Re-raise.
And she re-raises.
But she didn't re-raise enough.
See? I called 800 more in less than half a second. Now what we're gonna do? Let's dance. Are you gonna get at dancing?
She's probably a great dancer, but she just doesn't want to dance with you, Phil.
Now you check?
Well, that is a quick step of a first card for Phil. He has made a set of threes.
Check.
And a straight draw for Maria.
And she checked blind, and Phil checked behind her to trap her.
And now she's hit the queen. She could get into trouble.
You're not gonna bet ace-king? I'll bet it for you.
Phil's trying to call out her hand here.
Yeah, he is the puppet master pulling the strings.
I know you're calling. It's okay. $3,000. Wow. Look at that. I called 1,500 less than a quarter of a second again. It's unbelievable. This is weird, huh? They're 10 for a straight now.
Well, Phil said it. He will be worried about the 10.
You know, all trappers don't wear fur. Phil's actually got to be worried here that she could have either a higher set or a 10 for a straight.
This hand's just too weird. It's just too weird the way this hand came down.
He's talking to himself now. That'll be a relief for everybody else at the table, but is that a bad sign for Phil?
He's actually talking himself through the hand. He's thinking through step by step. I think he believes that there's a legitimate chance that Maria has a set higher than his here.
He may figure that if he makes a bet, he can only be called by a better hand. It might be the smart move just to check as well.
I think that's precisely what's going through his head.
What do you have? Do you have aces or ace-king?
You have to know.
Huh?
You're supposed to be good reading people. You have to know.
I'm supposed to be good at reading people, that's true.
And finally, one of the other players getting a jab at Phil.
All right, I check. Yeah.
Even in victory, he looks disgusted that he didn't extract more money from her.
I guess that's the mark of a champion. Most people will be delighted to take down a pot of that size. Phil, he's disappointed.
To talk or not to talk at the poker table? That is the question. Some poker players just can't stop talking at the table.
I'm feeling good about it.
That's making 5,000.
The weaker I know you are, so the happier I am.
You talking before the cards come out.
You talk all the time.
Not before the cards come out.
Yes, you do.
No.
If you don't talk to someone, if you don't talk about anything, you sit there, you just fall asleep.
Some players are even as quiet as a Trappist monk. And as for me, what do you reckon?
People always ask me if I died, who I'd want to come back as. And I thought it through over drinks last night. Me. That's who I want to come back as. Me.
Does anybody at this table talk except me? Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Just nod if you can hear me.
Well, whether you're talking is not as important as whether you're walking, and we're starting to see the casualty list pile up. Tipster John McCrick is out. And he is followed by David Williams. There's Todd Brunson seeing the back of Freddie Deeb. Andreas Holvoid, he is walking the plank. And William Thorson also leaving the arena.
And then we got it all in. We hit this flush. So I feel really sick right now, really sick.
No bad beat stories for Hussein Yilmaz. He sends Michael the Grinder Mizraki to the rail. He's got a big stack of chips now. He looks utterly calm about getting closer to that £1 million jackpot, as does top American pro Eric Seidel. Mind you, he's had plenty of practice over the years. Here's our leaderboard, Yilmaz and Seidel riding high, but we can see that Phil Helmuth is very much in the running. So let's get back to the Empire for some more of his unique poker stylings. And he's picked up a new customer. Thor Hansen has joined the table.
A notable pro from the States, but originally from Norway.
Thor. I feel sorry for you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave you with this many yellow chips. Is that 6?
Come back tomorrow. That's 8. You have no.
Only because I like you. I'm going to leave you with 8.
That's 8.
Don't do him any favors, Phil.
8 or 6. I'm going to leave you with 7 yellow chips. Because I like you, okay? It's nothing personal. Raise it up. Raise it up. Make it $2,000.
Phil raising with Queen 3 offsuit.
Any 2 will do for Phil right now. He's running over the table.
Here we go.
Round to Fougeron.
You push all in.
I know you didn't watch it.
You what? I looked at 1, but you're right. I didn't look at both. He's right. He's very smart.
Fougeron makes the call with Jack 10.
Wow, you called me with a King Jack? No.
No.
Sevens?
No.
Flop misses both players. Fougeron checks.
You have to look now, huh?
Usually in a situation like this, whoever leads wins.
Oh my God, are you serious? How much you have left?
I'm going to tell you. Something like 8,000.
82.50.
8,000?
Ah, yes.
Phil's trying to decide whether he should take a stab at this.
All right, I checked. Let's go.
Okay.
I think you have the 6s.
Check.
And this time, it's nothing personal, but I bet 2,600.
Phil has picked up the Queen High flush draw, but that is a pair of jacks for Fougeron.
600.
Phil personally wants to win this pot. That's what he wants.
You have to show some guts, man. You can't win this tournament unless you have some guts.
Yeah, guts check.
Guts.
Gut.
You hit the jack.
Yeah, I got the jack.
I know that.
You know that.
Yeah, I checked the king, but you know that too.
I'm not sure.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not sure of that.
That's true.
Fougeron may have guts, but right now he's wishing he didn't have ears.
With the Queen of Hearts.
The Ace of Hearts. Something like that. I'm going to wait a little more.
I'm pretty tough.
Over to 50 St James now, where one of the early internet poker millionaires is in trouble. It's Sweden's Eric Sagström, and the man they call the King of Ding is now out. Very patriotic coloured underwear there for a Swede.
Basically, I played without a goalie. No.
You should see our football team, mate. Meanwhile, at the Sportsman, Pamela Brunson needs help against Ram Vaswani.
Oh, diamond.
She hits an ace, and that gets Doyle's daughter out of trouble.
Pam's the last member of the Brunson family not to win a bracelet. Maybe this is her time.
Thank you. He made me do it. I was protecting my blind, and he woke up with a hand. I'm a little embarrassed, but very happy.
Back to 50 St James, where we have another lady player in a tight spot. It's the glamorous Heather Wells. She finds herself in deep water with pocket 9s against the trip 7s of Stephen Pearce.
Only another 4, yeah.
That pair, I'm afraid, in trouble, though.
I'm feeling good, by the way, in case you're worried.
Well, I wasn't, Stephen. That lady on the sofa, by the way, is not related to Heather. She's actually the companion of Stephen Pearce. Good grief, woman, take him shopping. Heather, she looks pretty disgusted right now. She's got an uncomfortable call to make with those 9s. Pearce is all in. Or maybe it's just the side of his shirt. That wouldn't even look good on a real zebra. It wouldn't even look good on a zebra in the 1970s. Well, the dealer's ready to print the final card, and it is no help to Heather. She takes a crippling blow. It's a full house for Pearce.
But the good news for everybody is she's still in the tournament.
It's back to the Poker Brat Show, and guess who is talking?
No, you started it with me.
Phil, I've never started.
I am the best poker player in the world. I'm at the peak of my powers. Right now. Okay, right at the end of the series, I ran out of gas. Okay,
Yeah,
that's why I only won 1 bracelet. But now, you know the cycle, I'm back at the peak. I knew it right in the horse tournament.
I know that.
You don't even know. I'm at the peak of my powers. I let you go one time and you wanted to mess with me. I can tell when you're weak and strong every time.
Yeah, you can. I know.
Not many people in the world can tell. You're a very great poker player.
I know you can tell.
I know you know I can tell.
That's why
you might get
keeping
yourself
away
confused.
from you. I mean, you're scaring me to death, man. God damn it.
Raise it up 2 dimes.
Phil's acting like he's a bully on the playground.
He may have picked on the wrong person. He and Thor have previous.
Phil, be nice, okay? I didn't speak to Phil Helmuth for many years because of an incident, so... Briefly we played in the World Series event. There was an older gentleman that played his first tournament. And he played some bad hands against Phil Helmuth. So Phil stood up and looked at this man that probably were mid-70s or so and said, "You play that shitty hand against me, you don't know who I am." And he went on and went on. I tried to tell him to shut up. What happened here is the older man, he left the chips at the table and said, "If this is poker, it's not for me," he said, and left. So I was pretty mad at Phil at the time and for many years. So, but we're friends now.
Well, let's see how friendly they are.
Again, you're going to just call? Why not just move in?
Phil's picking on Aho now.
You get more? Or you lose more?
Different hand, a different victim.
That's it. They've both missed that flop. 8-8-3. Aho's still in front.
You better bet like 4,000 or 5,000. No?
Once again, whoever takes a stab at this pot's gonna probably win it.
Okay, check 2. My hand big, otherwise I'd bluff it.
Phil is lying. His lips are moving. But Aho has missed again.
Phil's just outplaying his opponents. It doesn't matter what 2 cards he holds.
Let me bet 4,000. He's gonna insta-call here. Put in the 5. There you go. The insta-call. Wow! In the end, I'm gonna bet 7,225. I'm gonna count it out.
And now he's threatening to bet the river too, so Aho knows now he has to call this first bet. He's gonna have to call the river bet too.
That ace is shrinking every time he looks at it.
7,225.
That chip, it's in the pot, you know.
Oh,
This is a tough spot for Aho.
He gets out of the way.
Yeah, I know, they want to see my hand. 4-8. It's unbelievable.
Phil claiming quad 8s. Well, he doesn't need to hit quad 8s. He's winning with king high.
The rest of the table must feel like they've been run over by a bus as the Phil Helmuth show goes on and on.
Meanwhile, over at the Sportsman, Umberto Brenes and his little sharks may have bitten off more than they can chew. His ace-king is a slight underdog to the pocket 9s of Dario Minieri, but there is a king straight out of the box. And no 9 to come with it. The glum face above that Roma scarf tells you all you need to know about Dario's chances. His full house beaten by a better one. Dashing to the Empire, we can see the implacable Ted Forrest there. His pocket 10s are up against Andrew Feldman, and he looks to be dominated by the jacks. He does have a flush draw, however, but he'll need to see another club. Feldman already feeling the pain of a possible outdraw, but a 7 on the turn gives him a house, and Ted now drawing as dead as the dodo. And we say cheerio to one of the most respected players on the poker circuit.
Not only a great player, but a true gentleman as well.
Over at 50 St James, Heather Wells is again tussling with her striped nemesis, Stephen Pearce, and once again she is in pretty bad shape with ace-10 against ace-jack. She'll need to hit a 10 or make some unlikely running cards for a straight, or her tournament will be over. She's beautiful, he's not. I think this is a good chance for God to prove he exists. Ah well, maybe next time.
She may not have won the bracelet, but I bet she gets her fair share of jewelry.
And flowers, and chocolates, and poetry.
It's good for me and unlucky for her.
I had a very good time. It was exciting getting my chips all the way up so fast, and then they just got whittled down and took that terrible beat with 9s and out my first hand back after the break. So I did what I had to do.
Things going a bit better for young internet whiz kid Annette Obrestad from Norway. Still only 18, but riding high at the moment, as is our chip leader, Jani Lamsa of Finland. Checking the leaderboard, we can see that Lamsa has over 100,000 chips, but with players like Greg Raymer, Annie Duke and Eric Seidel breathing down his neck, he won't be relaxing just yet. Well, 8 people who can relax are the players at this table, because Phil Helmuth has folded and stood up. God knows what he had. Must have been Mrs. Bunn the baker and the rules of bridge. Aho, he has picked up pocket fives and flat calls.
I think he flat called because he doesn't know what else to do. He's used to calling Phil Helmuth's raises.
Well, our short stack, Dossin says, I'm all in.
Yeah, but he's not that deep.
Yes, he has let it slide a little too far, and this is going to be very, very tempting for Aho to look him up. As we can see from the graphic, he's slightly in front.
This is the first all-in hand at the feature table. But it's a tough call for Aho just because he doesn't have that many chips either.
Yes, if this goes wrong for him, he would be easy meat in the water for the piranhas to gobble up. But he decides to do it, and he's got to be pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, got his money in as a favorite.
5 nervous cards to come. And the first 3, good for Aho. And there's a big sigh from Dossin. He knows his odds are shrinking.
And Dawson's tournament life is on the line. He's got to have a king or a queen, or it's sayonara.
And that's it. No paint on the river, and that is all she wrote for Dossin. He is our first casualty.
Well, his consolation prize is he doesn't have to listen to Phil Helmuth talk anymore.
To be here and to play with Phil Helmuth, for me, it's a great experience.
My nickname in poker is Final Table.
The Oriental Express.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Fossil Man.
Andy the Rock Block.
People call me the Cub.
Kenny the Kid Tramp.
The Bear's Son.
The Devilfish.
People have tried to call me as the Duchess of Poker, and like, please.
People call me Madman. I call myself Gus.
My nickname is Silver Fox.
Quickfish. There's a few people call me Mr. Big. I'm not going to go into that.
One poker nickname we didn't hear there was Phil Helmuth's. He is, of course, the poker brat, and he's certainly getting in people's faces now. He's even ordered some champagne, and he's called the legendary Johnny Chan over to the table to watch him destroy the opposition.
Did you just ask who the best player in the world was?
Well, if he's at this table, it's no question.
You said you asked me who the best player in the world was.
You want to talk to Don and we can...
The best player in the world? That's me. It's not even close.
It's not even close.
It was close like 4 years ago.
Not anymore.
Not even close.
Here's his bubbly.
Nice. Nice. Okay, I'm ready.
Since you...
I need a glass for Mr. Johnny Chan.
And here's Johnny.
Just mark it and watch. You're going to learn something.
I would have bet on it, dude.
Ivy, watch me. He learns. You know what?
On it.
Ivy's smart. When he watches me, he learns.
I be fooled.
Ask him.
I be fooled.
When Phil Ivey watches me, he learns. He pays attention. All the other guys, they don't learn. They're not smart enough to see the beauty.
What do you think I'm doing here?
You're not, I had told people before the 1989 series that I was going to win it. I was also telling people that I thought I'd be heads up with Johnny Chan. But seriously, what are the chances that we ended up heads up? So I was kind of expecting it. And I was ready. I knew what I was going to do, you know, and I whispered to Johnny Chan, I'm going to play perfect poker. You're going to have to play perfect too and get lucky to beat me. And 32 minutes later, into our heads-up match, I'd beat him. Playing poker now is about making history. And I want to come and I want to play in the biggest, most prestigious poker tournaments in the world and win them. If I can put 24, maybe 30 World Series of Poker bracelets up on the board, let's see if some guy like Tiger Woods can come and catch me. Can he win?
Hey, show some play. Don't talk. I mean, what the hell is the matter? This might be blind anyway.
I bet 1,600.
Why would you
I
play
just
so
showed deuce
hard?
7 last hand.
All right, Phil makes it 1,600.
What did I show last hand? Somebody tell me.
Deuce 7.
Deuce 7 offsuit.
Deuce 7 offsuit.
How did you do with it?
What?
How did you do with the deuce 7?
I lost that one.
Only 2,000?
Oh, you just had to get involved.
Oh,
he just had to get involved, Johnny.
Action, you got it.
Whenever you're ready.
Poor Thor.
Queen of spades, trash spades.
Phil playing to the gallery there.
1,500 to my friend.
And now he bets out with his sailboat, and a quick call from Hansen with middle pair.
You know, as many hands as Phil's been playing, I don't blame Thor for taking a stand.
Yeah, Phil bragging about the 7-deuce. You can't expect respect every time, especially from a seasoned pro like Thor. That's put a flush out there as well. That should slow things down even more.
Check.
I got a Queen 10.
Queen 10's a really champion hand, Thor. Nice play, buddy.
And Phil telling Thor how bad he played the hand.
I have medium pair.
You have a pocket pair?
You call with Queen 10.
Phil just won't let it go.
I know.
He won't be here long.
I know it. I know it.
But I still bet he's going to be over 6,000 before the night's over.
I'm listening to you bragging about never having a hand. What do you want me to do? Throw every hand away against you? You know, if you don't behave, you won't come back next day.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going out, not me. You're going out. You're going to call with Queen 10. I'm going to have kings, and you're going to say, oh, I'm so unlucky. I flopped top pair against Phil. It looked like he was steaming. 1,700. You're gonna be at the rail. They're gonna be interviewing at the rail. You're gonna say, well, it looked like he was steaming. I called a raise with Queen 10 of hearts. He had 2 kings. I couldn't believe it. I flopped, became Queen deuce deuce. How could I fold?
Phil is excellent against the average and below average player, but when it comes to the good players, he's a little bit weak. He don't like to play against me, I know that. He never did, so I like to play with him. I gave up telling him to shut up many years ago. And now I'm just encouraging him to do it. That's it. He's a good guy, but you know, something is wrong with him, obviously.
So you lie about going to bust Thorne Hansen?
No, I'm gonna get him.
You lie about that one too,
No,
right?
I'm gonna get him. Because he showed me what he looks like when he's weak. Twice. Big mistake. You know something, John? You actually know that that's true. Because I know you.
Thank you.
About 20 great players in the world know never to show me a bluff. And you're one of them. You haven't showed me a bluff in 20 years. The rest of the guys, I just eat them up. Like vanilla yogurt. Like low-fat vanilla yogurt. Thor showed me his weak, what he looks like when he's weak.
Oh, we had a lot of fun. We're playing
Can he
a lot
win?
of hands.
Every time he re-raises weak, I move in. Every time he raises weak, I re-raise. Can he win?
Hey, show some play, don't talk. I mean, what the hell is the matter? This might be blind anyway. So that's good for you then.
Oh, 2,000. Come on, baby. Let's see y'all play me again.
That champagne's putting Phil in a good mood.
I have to go, Mud.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. If you put a bad beam, I don't even blame you. What do you got, 4,400? Is that it? Okay, let's go.
I didn't want to watch. Maybe I can fold if I watch them.
How can you fold? You got to gamble.
I have to gamble. I don't watch my hand.
Once again, Phil telling the other player what to do.
And I don't understand why he would talk him into calling here. There's no hand that Phil could be a favorite against.
Well, he's obviously in a pretty good mood and happy to take his chances. He does have the wrong end of this one, though. He's about a 6-4 dog to Fougeron's rag ace.
And the rail's trying to get in on the action. Phil's played cheerleader and got the rail inside it, too.
That's right. I think he's been handing out the champagne. We've got Todd Brunson and Johnny Chan looking on keenly, wondering if the Brat can apply the guillotine to Fougeron's tournament chances. Well, so far so good for the Frenchman. Nothing much there for Phil.
Phil's going to either need a 9, a deuce, or runner for hearts.
Wait a minute now. Let me wait and see.
Well, the front door's open.
That is it.
I might bet on Phil now.
Deuce of diamonds might come.
Fougeron obviously not happy about that. He certainly doesn't want to see a heart.
Look, man, I don't mind.
A sporting handshake, but there it is!
That's Phil Helmuth.
That is horrible.
Runner, finally got him.
You had the best hand. Nice hand.
This is Phil Helmuth. It's not really an unlucky bit. That's poker. Phil Helmuth ways our short stack. You had to call and, that's poker, no problem. That's Phil Helmuth, you know. I don't mind about him.
Fougeron perhaps suggesting that Phil Helmuth got a little lucky against him. Well, that's a fact, but he has been winning with bad cards and not having to show them.
Well, all I can say for Phil is he's been lucky 11 times at least because he's got 11 bracelets.
1,700.
And Phil, once again, has got his raising arm out. Gets rid of Maria Maceras.
I think this table's playing pretty tight. That's why Phil's really being aggressive. This table's allowing him to.
Well, Hansen's picked up pocket nines. And he has made the call.
Thor!
See you guys tomorrow.
He's so sick. They just canceled their bets. I let him out for, I don't know, I was sick.
Scotty, what's up, baby?
I warned him, Johnny, I warned him.
And look at that, Phil Helmuth has flopped trips.
It's a great flop for Phil's rag hand.
Hansen raises him, and Phil re-raises immediately. Another 6,000 to Hansen. This pot building up very quickly.
All right, you got me.
Or does he?
Phil definitely blowing smoke at Hansen there. He's sure he's in front. Well, he won't really like that 7. Hansen checks. Phil checks.
9s are good, Thor.
What a read from Phil Helmuth.
Call.
And such a small defensive bet by Thor on the river. Phil instantly calls, of course.
He's drawing dead. I flopped trips.
And, of course, Phil's complaining while he's taking down another pot from the players.
Flop trips. We put 10,000 on the flop. It came 5-5-7. He had 9s. What do you think I had? Of course I had 5. Raise, re-raise, re-raise. Phil Helmuth.
Over at 50 St James, it's the end of the road for Liz Liu. She's all in and she is busted. It must be because she's not Phil Helmuth.
You told me I had to gamble.
You feeling a little hot now?
No. Close the shop again. That's shopping too.
She takes the walk of shame, and Robert, I'm sure you'll agree, just like with Heather Wells, it is a shame.
It is such a shame.
Do you just have to?
You win and you lose in poker, and I've given people bad beats, so I have to expect bad beats back, right? So.
Over at the Sportsman, here's a man who's given plenty of beats, good and bad. It's Ram, Crazy Horse for Swanee. But this time, he's got the goods, pocket aces. And his opponent, sitting there, I'm afraid, is only armed with the 10s. Ram's a 4-1 favourite as we go to the flop. He's a nice, cool gambler, even when he's a huge underdog, so he won't be panicking or showing any fear of a suck-out like some of the less experienced players do. Look at him, almost like he's having a nice daydream. All good so far, a 6 on the turn. And that 8 on the river can do no harm. A nice injection of chips for the Hendon mobster.
And Rambaswani is a dangerous player to get a hold of any chips.
Yeah, could spell trouble for the rest of the table and the rest of the tournament. And talking of trouble, let's see how Phil's getting on with his champagne.
I don't know why.
Yep, still talking.
Watch this hand. This hand's going to be extra special. Come on, Thor, get in there. Marco, get in there, buddy. This hand's extra special.
Phil's having fun taunting all his opponents.
Uh-oh, it's right. 1,800. 1,800. I love it when they do exactly what I say. How much more do you have there, bud? Loose call.
All right, Phil calls.
My best hand in 4 hours. I told you I'm going to smooth call you, right? You know it, right?
What he said doesn't mean shit. Don't worry about it.
Doesn't mean a thing.
Well, what does matter is that Phil Helmuth has got pocket 8s, and Marco is sitting there with pocket 4s. He's a 4-1 underdog. He's in real trouble here, Robert.
Phil's got him right where he wants him, and now he just wants to extract the maximum amount of money from him.
Well, some interested observers looking on, but look at that for an interesting flop. It's given a gut-shot draw to Marco, but top set to Phil.
It's a great flop for Phil Helmuth.
He won't be scared by that jack.
No, 2,000.
And indeed he bets. Can Marco call this?
Well, that's a small bet, but I don't think he can call with 4 overcards on the board.
Call me with
He
the
has
inside.
done.
I'm betting the river.
Nine of clubs on the river.
Well, that card actually might save Marco some money.
Yes, that does put a possible straight out there.
Bet 2,000.
Give it 10, man. 2 10s, Marco, I had. I flapped a set, Marco.
No more betting, and Marco gets away.
I mean, that's what they do all day long. Every time I flop a set, they turn the frickin' straight card. It's such a joke.
Would you believe Phil is complaining?
And dragging down another pot. Seems to go hand in hand at this table.
He loses, he's miserable. He wins, he's miserable.
All the talking, and you told him I had nothing. It was perfect. But you knew better. Come on, you know I called 1,800, man. I called 1,800. You gotta have a big pair.
A guy had 2 kings. Played a base, bet on the
Queens? Queens?
No,
if he had queens, we go on the turn.
That's right. You play the bet.
No, we go on the turn.
Phil outplays everybody. He never flops anything. He just outplayed him out. You know, it's like nothing.
He had king jack. I checked so he could hit a jack. Come on. I'm so far above the rim.
See Mark go along with you.
I'm so far above the rim I can't even see myself anymore.
You're definitely on cloud 9, Phil.
You might be a good poker player. I don't see how, but you talk a lot of shit.
Well, whether you see him as a genius or just a terrible person to be trapped in a lift with, Helmuth has backed up his hot air with a great performance on day 1. He's third behind Lamser and Yilmaz.
I bluffed again, by the way. I bluffed. I bluffed again and again and again and again and again, and about 40 times I bluffed. And then I showed him top set, and then I bluff. Then I showed him hand the bluff. Then I showed him hand bluff. Let's go.
Wise words. But coming up next time, someone who really can walk the talk.
I've seen 3 guys die at the poker table and another one shot.
Taking him on will be even more of the world's top players, including perhaps the most controversial champion ever.
They kind of turned on me and said, oh, you know, this is terrible that he's doing this.
Join us again at the World Series of Poker Europe, presented by Betfair.com. In the past, there was only one place a poker player could go to compete for a World Series bracelet. To do battle against the best of the best for the highest stakes of all. Millions of dollars in prize money and the chance to claim a place in poker history. Dolly Brunson himself, owner of 10 bracelets and a man who's always been there when history's being made.
The greatest game of poker ever played took place at Binion's Horseshoe in Vegas back in 1949. After 5 months of head-to-head combat, Nick the Greek Dandalos conceded to his opponent Johnny Moss with the immortal words, "Mr. Moss, I gotta let you go." Johnny was one of the original rounders, and it was on the Texas circuit that I served my poker apprenticeship playing against him and other greats of the game. I've had guns pulled on me. I've had knives pulled on me. I've seen 3 guys die at the poker table and another one shot. Those aren't good memories. But that knowledge helped me win the World Series of Poker in 1976 and 1977, both times with the 10 deuce.
10 deuce you got, huh?
The first World Series in 1970 featured only a handful of professionals. This year's event attracted a field of over 6,000 with an $8 million first prize. It's not just the money they all come for, it's the bracelets. And now for the first time, bracelets are being awarded outside the United States as the World Series of Poker comes to London. I want my 11th bracelet, but between me and the final table are pretty much all the biggest names in the game. Let's shuffle up and deal.
3 separate casinos, the Empire, the Sportsman and 50 St James are hosting the World Series of Poker Europe. With over 350 runners, the event needed 2 day ones. And in this second one, a gallery of some of the best-known players have been thrown together. There are bracelet winners, former world champions, internet young guns and consistent money winners, all waiting to get their hands on one thing, the nuts. Not that it always helps, as we saw today when Dan Shack and Alan Smurfit both turned over pocket aces. Shack remained seated, but Smurfit was already standing up. He must have known that the flop would bring 3 diamonds. One more and he'd be busted out of the tournament. The turn was a blank, but sure enough, down it came like the executioner's axe. Horrible! Smurfit was gutted. Even the winner didn't look too happy, but Alan eventually took it with a smile. If only everyone was so calm when Lady Luck refused to take their calls.
Bad beats drive us all crazy.
Very similar to a suck out.
And you know, you're 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1 favorite, and the guy outdraws you in a key situation.
The thing about a bad beat is I feel like someone has to really be playing poorly.
When somebody draws 2 outer on you, when there's 2 cards in the deck, somebody hits it, and when you had all the money in, that's a bad beat.
Well, one man who never dishes out a bad beat is my co-commentator, Robert Williamson III. Robert, what do you make of this table?
Well, I don't know about that never dish out a bad beat. Every once in a while I put one on him. This is a tough table. Kenny Tran's a great American player.
He's found pocket nines and has raised it, and the action round to Christopher Bruce, one of our European contenders. He is a qualifier.
I'm not for sure what he's pondering here. I think he might even be considering calling with the 7-8 offsuit.
Well, that is optimism. Kenny Tran does have a reputation as an aggressive player, also someone very good at reading players. Well, not bad for nines.
Yeah, it's a little tough flop, though. He's going to put a fielder bet, try to take the pot down right here, but he's liable to get played back at. Bruce has flopped a pair as well.
Well, we will see what the Englishman is made of, because Kenny Tran is making that continuation bet.
Kenny's an aggressive player. He's going to lead at a very large percentage of the pots and try to take them away from people, even when he doesn't have a hand. Right here he does have a hand, but there is an overcard to the board and straight and flush draws out there as well. It's a pretty scary flop for him.
Yes, those straight and flush draws are not so much backdoor as cat flap. They are quite unlikely, but as you say, he's got a piece of this, and he doesn't want to be intimidated early on.
Well, on top of that, Bruce has position on Kenny Tran, and that's important in poker.
Well, that's important too. He's made trip sevens.
Well, it always helps to have the best hand. Now, Christopher Bruce does.
Well, I said Kenny was aggressive, and once again, he comes out firing.
And I don't blame him. When the board pair's there, you can't figure Christopher Bruce to have a 7. He might have a 10, and if he does, Kenny Tran's in trouble. But if he gets called right here or raised, he knows he's in trouble. He can get away from this hand with a minimal amount of damage.
Yeah, Kenny, one of the best readers of players in the game, and giving him the stare down there, soaking up the information like a sponge. Well, here's the call of raise.
He ain't gonna like to hear that. But I'll tell you this much, Kenny Tran has been on a roll this last year. He's had some great results. He'll get out of this with a minimal amount of damage.
Well, now 7,500 in the middle. Will that be a tempting enough cherry for Tran to have a nibble at?
Well, Kenny's going to go into the tank and think about this. Not only is he a great reader, he's a great thinker. He really thinks situations thoroughly through. He's not going to act until he knows what to do.
Can I call Phil Helmuth for help?
Probably. Now he's asked for a little help.
Well, if you can't ask God, you might as well ask Phil Helmuth.
Yeah.
Of course, there's one difference. God won't call you an idiot.
One thing's for sure, Phil would definitely get away from this hand.
Who the angels to bluff me? I don't think he'll do anything like that.
Kenny's just a bit quieter than Phil, a bit more polite. But he does throw it away.
Yep, good lay down. Kenny Tran.
So the bluff good for the game.
Kenny Tran's always trying to get free information.
That's fine. It's okay, go ahead. That's fine, yeah. The main key for you to make decision on the hand is the tail. It depends on how your opponent action, how fast he act, how slow he act, the ways he look at you in the eyes, or he tend to not care, or he look too comfortable. I think the tail is probably the number one important in all the poker hands.
There is the bracelet our 362 players are dueling it out for. And sitting at our table, of course, is a man who picked one up in 2006, main event champion Jamie Gold, but he did get criticised for his abrasive style.
I used to watch this on television, you talking on it. Stop me talking on it, I really enjoyed it. And now I meet you in the flesh and you don't say a bloody word. I didn't see anybody else get a word in.
Television is a funny thing, the way they edit.
You don't have a queen, do you? You got a pair? I got this one. Let's do it. I think I'm gonna win. Then I got you.
I was told that it was not only okay to talk and have the banter that way, but that it was encouraged. You know, they wanted me to make a great TV show for them, and then afterwards, the commentators and they kind of turned on me and said, "Oh, this is terrible that he's doing this." I got a little caught up in the heat of it all, and I was ignorant. I didn't really. It was my first time. I didn't really know. But I've still been asked to please talk and be animated because otherwise the show is going to be really boring.
There you go, Robert. It's all our fault. And I, for one, will be happy if Jamie Gold never opens his mouth today, except to eat sandwiches.
Well, he's definitely going to try to talk his opponents out of their money. That's a fact. Jamie believes in the same philosophy I do. Do whatever it takes to win.
Well, it may take more than philosophy because Jepson has picked up ace-jack.
1,000 total? Why not? It's time to go home.
I don't think he really wants to go home. I think he wants to send Jepson home.
Yeah, he's painting a picture there. Well, that's a pretty flop for both players. An ace for Jepson, a flush draw for Gold.
You just put me all in.
1,500. 15, yeah?
That's easy. We got 67 left.
And by telling his opponent how much he has left, he's actually trying to convince him, look, I'm committed to this pot. Don't bluff at me.
Well, he has called. And there's a dream card for Jamie Gold. He's made his flush.
Jepson still has top pair. He could get in trouble here.
Jamie trying to look bored, but he does stare down at Jepson's chips.
Oh, and a quick check right behind him. The trap is set.
Jepson dead as a dodo now.
Yeah, that was a really good check. I wouldn't have checked quite so quick if I was Jamie, though. Checked really quick there.
6,700. Come and get it.
Did you call?
It's time for me to go home.
Jamie's chiding his opponent, trying to get him to bluff into him.
Jepson bet, but he could only be called by a better hand.
Yeah, that's the problem with that bet. He tried to make a value bet, but the problem is Jamie Gold has just enough. Now he's priced into probably having to make this call.
Yeah, nearly 15,000 chips in the middle.
No flush, huh?
No.
Jamie turning the screw again, saying to Jepson, you haven't got a flush.
I mean, if you look at the flop, what hand could I possibly have called with? Unless I really wanted to go home.
I don't think he could have put him on Queen 4.
No, I think he's worried about a bigger ace or possibly aces up. I don't think he's worried about a flush right here.
Well, he makes a crying call. Jamie turns over. A good enough hand to win.
And once again, Jamie talked somebody out of their money.
Meanwhile, at one of the outer tables, it's a clash of old school versus just out of school, as Doyle Brunson is all in against whiz kid Justin Bonomo. Doyle has a set of fours, but the turn gives Justin the wheel. Doyle will need to pair the board, and that is no dice. And with a handshake, the legend leaves the table.
Well, I didn't have much time to get much of an opinion on the players, but I've had formed my opinion about the boy that broke me. I saw that he was pretty liberal, on a couple of hands he'd played previously. And, I have 3 4s. I can't think that he's in there with the deuce and a tray. I can't help it.
I think the perception of the young players has changed a lot in the past 4 years. At first, young players were kind of a joke, but now the internet players are becoming so successful that they're a lot more feared than the live pros, I think. Players are learning that it's so important to be aggressive at all times and that tight is generally the right style. And on a more complicated level, the internet players are just solving the game faster because they have so much more experience.
Well, at least Doyle still has 10 of those bracelets. That's 5 for each arm, Justin. Tell that to your computer.
Does have to be a bit disappointing for Doyle Brunson. It was his chance to tie Phil Helmuth for the bracelet lead. Number 11 was at stake.
Well, 9 contenders wanting a bracelet around this table. Jamie Gold folds.
And speaking of tables, this is a tough table. I mean, Kenny Tran, Jamie Gold, and Chad Brown. He was Bluff Magazine's Player of the Year in 2006.
He's picked up pocket threes. He's made the call. Jepson was trying the steal, but he will have overcards. It's pretty much a coin toss. I think we've got a route for the commentator here. Chad Brown, known for his work in the booth.
Has done quite a bit. I've worked with him. Not only a great guy, a great poker player, but also a good talker.
Well, let's see if he's good enough to avoid a king or a 5. He isn't.
Well, he's going to have a lot of help here now.
Yep. There are 2 threes left in the box, and he needs to hit one of them. And he's got 1 card left to do it. He's already standing up. And sure enough, there is the nail in his coffin.
Well, sure enough, nice guys do finish last. I told you, Chad Brown, great American player, but won't be around to see the end of this tournament.
Go get him, kid.
And Peter Jepson wins back some of those chips he leaked away to Jamie Gold.
I was a soldier. I was in Iraq. I got injured after 7 months there, so I had to go home, and I couldn't be in the military anymore. I couldn't do what I did best. So some of my friends started playing poker, and I thought, hey, let's give it a shot. I always liked math. So I started playing, and I won the European Poker Tour in Poland, so now I'm here, trying to win one more.
Meanwhile, over at the Sportsman, 2 exciting players are going to war themselves. With pocket 8s is Max Pescatori. He sometimes dresses up like a pirate. Seems to have gone for an Elvis Costello with a bad hangover look today. And he is in trouble against the jacks of John Tabatabai. The young Brit needs to dodge 8s and straights here. And that turn does put the straight out there. He needs to hit a 6 now.
Look at it like 3 across. So it's going to need a 6 or an 8. Ooh. And it was a 7. Close, but no cigar, just like Bill and Hillary's marriage.
That is the face of Mike McDonald. If he looks young, it's because he is. It's his 18th birthday. He's flown over from the States to take part in his first ever legal tournament, and he's landed on the feature table against a former world champion.
And this is a rough spot for him. He could lose his virginity against some tough players at this table.
Jamie Gold has entered with pocket 3s. A fairly gentle hand. Action folding round the table. But Lovelady picks up the ace rag and decides to have a peep. And look at this! Birthday boy has picked up the fish hooks. And he says, I raise.
Raise 1,000.
He's got the button as well. That's a great place to have 2 jacks with position. Well, one of his jacks is dead.
How adventurous does Jamie Gold feel with his pocket 3s?
Well, it looks like a position raise to me.
A raise.
Whoa! Wow, I wasn't expecting a raise, a re-raise from Jamie Gold, though. I was expecting at least a flat call, but not a raise. Wow.
Or maybe Jamie figures he can bully this young pup.
Well, I think the only way he's going to bully him if it's a big raise. Otherwise, he's going to get action from the kid.
3.
And 2,000's not going to be enough. If I'm the kid here, I'm definitely going to at least call. And the 3rd player got out of the way, so it's down to McDonald and Gold only.
McDonald may be considering a raise.
You know, I favor just a flat call here. He's got position. Yep, he does make the call.
Well, from your lips to his ears, and we will see a flop. McDonald a 4-1 favourite.
And the diamonds, 4 of clubs.
And that's a great flop for the jacks.
And a bad flop for Jamie Gold. 3 overcards. Well, at least Jamie Gold can probably get out of this hand with a minimal amount of damage here.
How much do you have left? I can't see if there's any red.
No red.
12,500.
Well, Jamie could be painting another picture here.
The kid's got enough chips here to put a real dent in Jamie Gold's stack. I don't think Jamie Gold's going to get frisky here. checks to the kid. With an overpair here, if I'm McDonald, I'm definitely going to go ahead and lead and try to take this pot down.
He says 2.5.
Oh, such a small bet. That's a dangerous bet with a straight and a flush
Look
draw.
at that.
Oh.
Jamie Gold all in. He sensed weakness.
And you know what? With the bet that McDonald made, I don't blame Jamie Gold. It did feel weak. It felt like the kid was really afraid.
I hope I got something.
Well, Jamie Gold's got something, but not enough if McDonald calls. This is a tough spot for the kid. This is his tournament life on the line.
What's your name online?
I don't play online.
Okay.
My name's Jamie Gold right here.
Okay.
Oh, the kid's trying to get a read out of Jamie Gold.
I don't play. This is my first tournament.
Well, I know who you are. Just a couple people have said they're Jamie Gold online.
Oh, people do that all the time.
People pretend to be Jamie Gold? What sick world are we living in?
Well, Jamie is a good guy. I don't blame him.
I call.
Good.
Oh.
I got nothing.
And the kid makes the call.
Nice him.
Well, the good news for Jamie Gold is this pot won't bust him.
I knew what you had. I just didn't think you'd call.
The bad news is it'll put a big dent in his stack. Oh, and the kid starts to laugh.
That is a dangerous thing to do. And look at that on the turn.
And Confucius say, he who laughs last laughs longest.
That's what you get for calling with jacks.
Jamie Gold rubbing it in. It'll need to be a jack to save the birthday boy. It is not. Full house for Jamie Gold. I bet McDonald wishes he'd asked for a Skye Electric instead for his present. And not so much as a hard luck or a handshake from Jamie Gold.
Definitely no send-off party waiting for him.
That was on his 18th birthday as well, you know.
It's today's birthday.
18th birthday.
You gotta lay down the jacks, that's all. Nah, he made a great call. What are you gonna do? You know.
He's sort of like notoriously bad. He did say something about that's what you get for playing with jacks. So I don't know if he has a whole lot of respect for my game. I don't know. Live players suck.
Love you, Mom.
Well, plenty of good players, both live and internet, are getting sent to the rail. Mark Voss giving a shout-out to his mum. John Duthie giving a mean glare.
London, you know, baby, I come back next year.
And Scotty Wynn giving a kiss. One guy giving nothing away is the Orient Express, Johnny Chan. His ace-king is dominating the ace-queen of Nathan Lee.
Well done.
Block brings a 4, a 9 and a 4. So Lee needs a 9 to split it and a lady to win. Nothing on the turn. And a king on the river. He is walking and Chan is doing what he does best, raking in the chips. Meanwhile, over at 50 St James, gorgeous Vanessa Russo has moved all in with a flush draw and been called by the ace high of Tino Lashish. She needs to catch a heart, a king or a queen. Come on, just once, let the attractive woman beat the man who looks as though he's been living in a cave. Oh, no.
She's not only a beauty, but she's brains too. Vanessa Rousseau is out, a great female American player.
Loose call, great result for the leash.
It was a really big pot, and it's pretty much all you can ask for. Oh well, maybe next time.
Looking at our leaderboard, we can see that win has sent Tino to the top of the pile, but there are plenty of bracelet winners keeping the pressure on him. Tickets are being printed. And Kenny Tran picks up a 3-8 and raises.
Well, he's in late position. He's just trying to steal the blinds.
Christopher Bruce folding from the cutoff. And it is Jamie Gold on the button. Looks kind of a big slick.
Well, of course, when Jamie wakes up with ace-king on the button, wow, and he flat calls. I prefer a raise right there. Tried to find the hand, especially because it looked like Kenny Tran might be on a steal.
Well, the raise has got rid of everybody else.
Well, Jamie's playing his hand pretty tricky, though. He might win a big pot from Kenny Tran, you never know.
Let's see who the flop is kindest to. A 9, a 9, and a queen. Well, I missed both of them by a country mile, but Jamie's still in front.
Usually the first aggressor wins in a situation like this.
Knife or nine.
That's 900.
900 for the nines, says Kenny, and gets an immediate call.
And I think Jamie thinks he might have the best hand still. Not a bad call at all. That or he's setting up the bluff for the turn.
And the turn card is a 5 of hearts.
Once again, no good to anyone, and that does put a flush out there.
Anybody on the draw here, that would have hit him square in the eye.
As you say, Jamie was representing a draw.
And Kenny checked. He's surrendering this pot.
2,000.
Jamie bet about the right amount to take this down right here.
No raising. You can call, no raising.
I'll take your advice.
And Jamie Gold talked to the wrong person. Kenny Tran made a great read, came back with the worst hand, and beat Jamie Gold out of this pot.
Yeah, that speech play of Jamie's might work on weaker players, but Kenny is just too smart a cookie.
You called me a flop, you have no pair. Wow. That's some crazy stuff.
I was just calling the bluff. I always do.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
Well, from two top players to a total beginner, over at the outer tables, journalist Martin Johnson is playing in his first ever tournament, and he sat next to Phil Gordon.
Protect your hands. You're showing everyone. I think he can see your cards when you look at them. Okay, one warning. I'm not going to tell you again, but I've seen like 3 of your hands already. Yeah, you don't really need to do that. Just do it like this. Put your hand over like this.
He was very, very good at knowing what I had in my hand, which I was told good players could do, but apparently I was showing him exactly what I got because I was picking him up wrongly. He said, look, I'm going to tell you this once, but I do want to see what you've got. Well, I do want to see what you've got, but he actually got me to win a hand because I'm and I'm turning up the corners there, and a top of a 4 looks a bit like an ace, so I bet on a queen ace. You know, when I turned it over, it turned out to be a queen 4. I went, no. I actually won the pot. These guys are so good and they're so intense that it's wearing me out, to be honest, and I don't really want to come back for another day.
Well, someone in danger of not lasting in day 2 is his mentor, Phil Gordon. Holding 2 pair and an up and down straight draw, he decides to move all in for his remaining chips. He gives his opponent the Easter Island statue treatment, giving absolutely nothing away.
That's a tough call for Walls.
But Walls does make the call with the overpair. Now Phil needs to catch a 5, a 4 or a 9, or he will have the dubious distinction of being knocked out before Martin Johnson.
We've got another card.
I guess Walls didn't show him his cards, though.
No good at all. And Phil is out of here.
I had a lot of outs on the river. I had more than 10 outs on the river, so I don't really regret my play. I got really unlucky early in the tournament and spewed off on my chips.
Spewing your chips is more of a Saturday night thing over here, but let's not dwell on that. Not when Jamie Gold has picked up a good hand. Pocket jacks. Blinds have gone up. They're now 200, 400 with a running ante of 50. So a bigger bet than we're used to from Jamie, I expect, with these fish hooks.
Yep, and he opens it up for 1,600. Now, Jamie likes to make a little bit bigger opening raises than most people. He raises it 4 and 5 times the big blind versus 3 times. Puts a lot of pressure on his opponents.
Well, Stephen Rinn on the button has picked up the ducks, pocket deuces.
And, you know, even though he's got position on Jamie Gold here, I really don't like to play deuces. You don't catch a deuce, you can't have the best hand, or either that or you're afraid of every flop that comes.
You're definitely going to see overcards, we know that, but Jamie's been playing pretty fast and loose.
And that's why he's getting this action here. He's played a wide variety of hands.
And flop.
Oh, right off the bat, Jamie Gold flops top set.
Well, we know Jamie can win with bad cards. What can he do with a set of jacks?
Well, I don't blame Jamie there. Check, give him a free card, give him a chance to hang himself.
Stephen bets 3,000.
Stephen does measure out some rope.
Yep, he bet 3,000. You know, he gave himself a shot to win this pot. Now, though, Jamie's got to play back at him. There's a straight draw out there. He doesn't want to give any free cards. Oh, he makes a minimum raise.
That was fast.
Yeah, just about guaranteed to get a call on a minimum raise there. I like that race by Jamie Gold.
And it'll need to be running deuces for Rin. And it ain't.
Yeah, all two would have done was cost him a lot of money. Jamie's thinking, how can I get more money out of Rin right here?
You don't think he's going to be alarmed by the possible Broadway straight out there?
Well, ace, queen, no. Queen, 9, possibly.
25. 27. 28.
I suspect, though, because of being a coordinated board and there's straights out there, Jamie's got to bet something here, because just in case Ren's got a queen jack.
Well, he makes it 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah, I like that bet, 15 to 20,000. He overbet the pot. I probably would have bet a little less, maybe 15.
Well, there's no way Stephen Rin can call, even if he thinks Jamie's been playing aggressive all day.
Well, all we're seeing here is Rin just putting on a show for next time, saying, please don't bet into me next time. He's obviously done with this hand. He's going to fold his hand. And he does.
And you crushed.
Show it.
Big bluff.
Pocket jacks.
Jamie Gold shows a not so big of a bluff.
Nice.
Poker tournaments can last a real long time. Sometimes we play poker for 16 hours a day. A lot of players like to get a nice massage to help them relax.
If I see a gorgeous girl giving a guy a massage, great.
We're here, in theory, to relax and I get to rejuvenate the poker players.
Other players feel like massages are very distracting.
To have a massage at a poker table, I think it's so wrong.
I never get a massage, but I just think it's annoying to have someone like slows the action down. You know?
All our girls are Lucky Charms. That's where we're going to leave it.
I'll let you decide which one you think I like.
Well, if you're feeling any stress, Robert, I want you to know I am known for my sensitive fingers.
Well, I'd rather stick with those pretty girls if you don't mind.
Well, pretty hand for Christopher Bruce. He's picked up ace-king, but Jamie Gold's got an even prettier one. He's got bullets.
We could see some fireworks here.
Yep, light the blue touch paper and retire 10 yards. This one is going to go off.
That's 1,600.
1,600 is the bet.
Good opening raise for Bruce right there. But he's gonna get a little surprise here from Jamie Gold, I got a feeling.
Calls with 4,000 on top.
And he does. Jamie Gold makes it 5,600, 4,000 more.
5,700.
You know, lots of times you slow play aces, but when somebody else has already showed strength, like Bruce showed here, it's good to go ahead and get them committed pre-flop. Get some money in there. He catches a piece of the flop, he might go broke in this hand.
4,000 to go.
I call.
Well, he's jumped off the cliff there, and an immediate call, of course, from Jamie Gold.
Yeah, Bruce has got to be sick, but sometimes this is an unavoidable situation.
Iron.
Kenny Tran can't believe it. Bruce decided that Jamie had been pulling everyone strings too much today and made a stand.
And you know, the only time Bruce is really in bad shape is against two aces, so this is an unfortunate thing for Bruce.
Yeah, but it looks as though he's going to be schooled. Well, there's a possible straight on the board, I suppose.
He's going to need some runner help. And that's not any help.
It's all over. Jamie Gold sends another player to the rail.
And this time, Jamie shook his hand. I don't think we saw Bruce laughing at him. That's what had to happen.
No laughing from Jamie. Look at that smile, like a shark that's just eaten. No aces at the outer tables, but Kurt Morrison decides to make an all-in move with just a gut-shot draw. Norway's Alexander Vafney has top pair, and Martin Johnson has, as usual, no real clue what's happening. Martin there trying to check out of turn, and that's giving Vafney free information. And now he announces he's going to fold. It's still not your go yet, Martin.
Oh, man, this is brutal for Kirk Morrison. The guy acts out of turn, and his opponent calls him now. And now Kirk's going to have some help.
How did he call?
He's Norwegian, they don't fold.
Roland de Wolf adding some analysis.
There was no help on the turn.
And that is curtains for Kirk Morrison.
And hopefully Kirk Morrison will forgive Johnson for folding too early.
I had my lollies handed to me tonight, and I don't like, I didn't have that hard of a table. And a lot of people look at that table, oh yeah, but I tell you what, I could have controlled that table, and I was doing all right for a while. And some of them just picked the wrong spot, and I don't mind having a gamble. And I thought I read everything correctly, which I did, and it just didn't pay off.
Going in the other direction, that's upwards, are Tino Lashish, and taking a handshake here, it's Justin Bonomo, both raking in wins and sending players home early. Justin does most of his work online, but obviously feels quite at home under bricks and mortar, to judge by that healthy chip stack. And that is reflected in our leaderboard, with Johnny Chan and Isabelle Mercier also keeping in touch. Back to the action at the Empire Casino in Leicester Square. Kenny Tran was 5th on that leaderboard.
And this feature table has not only a lot of great players at it, but also a lot of chips. And that's how you win tournaments, by accumulating a lot of chips.
And I'd be sitting with people with a lot in front of them in order to win it, and that's quite a lot in front of Daniel Zink. He's picked up the pocket queens.
Well, I'd say it's a big hand for the little lady, but I looked at the long hair and I thought it might be a little lady. No, it's not. It's Daniel Zink with 2 queens.
Remind me not to go speed dating with you, Robert.
And Jamie Gold looks at 9-10 of hearts here. He's got position on Zink. He might want to see a flop.
A hand with a lot of straightening and flushing possibilities, of course, and Jamie reaching for chips, makes the call. Jepson wants nothing to do with it. Everybody else folds in quick succession. Stephen Rinn also has 9-10. He's in the blind.
And he's got a cheap call here, 800. He's getting good value for his money. I'd probably go ahead and make this call if I'm Rinn as well.
Well, it is just a call, nothing fancy. And 3 players will see 3 cards on the flop. Look at those percentages. Daniel Zink, a monster. There is 1 heart for Jamie Gold. Another one could make this interesting, and there it is.
So now Jamie Gold's got a flush draw, but Zink still has the best hand. This is a precarious position for Jamie Gold.
Daniel bets 2,800.
That's a good bet. Got to take a stab at this spot. Oh, an insta-raise by Jamie Gold. Now he's going to have to make a pretty serious raise to get Zink off this hand. And he only raised it 5,000. I don't like that. With a flush draw, I think he's got to raise it 7, 8, 9,000. Go ahead and let Zink think you might have an 8. Right now, it looks like Jamie Gold has a flush draw to me. Zink has got to make this call, but it is a tough call because he doesn't know what Jamie Gold's going to bet on the turn.
Well, it was good enough to get rid of Stephen Rinn pronto, and now we are down to our 2 metals, Gold against Zink. I can see a range of action figures here, Robert. I may even change my name by deed poll to Magnesium.
Well, I guess you could say this is the test of metals.
And now the river, according to the turn card, a 4.
And no help for Jamie Gold. This is an awkward position now. Zink has got to check. There's too big of a coordinated flop here, and let Jamie Gold take the reins.
2 different flush draws.
Now, Jamie asked how much Zink has here because Jamie knows he's got 2 options. He can either move all in, or he can check and take a free card. And he took the check. 50-50 on that one. You got to do one or the other, all in or check.
No heart, and it wouldn't matter anyway because Zink has made a full house.
And now this is an easily playable hand. Zink's got to try to value bet, try to get a little more money out of Jamie Gold. It's not going to be able to. It looks like he's going to chomp on that gum to try to figure out the magical bet. Maybe that's magic gum.
Well, if he gets a call, it will be more than magic. It'll be a miracle.
Well, maybe he bets a small enough bet. Jamie tries to raise him off the hand.
Jamie has been aggressive. 7 and a very, very quick fold.
And Jamie's not going for that. Jamie minimized the damage. And one of our chip leaders, Jamie Gold, finally took a little hit.
Meanwhile, the grenades are going off over at 50 St James, where the pocket tens of Peter Gould are a 4-1 underdog to the kings of Matthew Carter. But a 10 on the flop catapults him into the lead. A turn, that brings a flush draw. And a king on the river gives Carter a bigger set. Gould was down, he was up, he was down. It was a real roller coaster ride.
That was a bit of fun.
Fun? It cost you 10 grand.
I feel sorry for opponents all the time. It's the biggest weakness in my game.
If you do that, then usually you're going to win less than you should have.
If someone has a nice face, I don't want to win their money.
If I know somebody's on their last buck, I do feel very sorry if I'm in a pot with them and I know that I've got them crushed.
You can't really feel sorry about knocking someone out because that's your job.
I feel sorry for opponents that lack fundamental understanding of how the game works. They're basically just throwing their money away. They have absolutely no chance to win.
Have I ever felt sorry for an opponent? Yes, but I probably wouldn't tell you where and when, and I probably wouldn't let them know about it.
If I've got a friend at the table and I knock him out, and at the same time I'm like, man, I really wish, it was the jerk sitting next to him.
Well, Robert, who's the jerk at this table?
I don't see any jerks, but I'll tell you what, all this feeling sorry for people, I don't ever feel sorry for nobody. I want to cave their heads in.
Stephen bets 1,500.
Okay, well, Stephen Wren getting pretty aggressive from the button. Makes it 1,500 with King 6.
That's a good button raise.
Joe Lovelady flat calling with Ace 10 offsuit.
And the big blind could get priced in here. 800 to call, 3-5 suited. Well, I guess he didn't like it. Probably would have called there.
Well, as it is, our two young players going head-to-head, and 2 pairs for Wren. Went in with the worst of it, and now has leapt in front.
Well, Wren's trying to do it again. He actually raised with a bad hand and caught a piece of the flop.
No help there for Lovelady. And that does put an overcard to Wren 6. Might slow him down a bit. No. Reaching for chips.
Wow, look at this. Wren bet his hand. He's got the best hand right now. You bet enough to take this pot down right now. Lovelady's got to fold, minimize his damage. Go on to the next hand. Wait for another bust to come by.
Lovelady may be pretending it's a really hard decision. No!
Oh my gosh!
What a move! He's gone all in!
Wow.
With just ace high.
I think I have to.
Yeah. And Wren calls!
Whoa. And quick! Wow, I can't believe Wren called it that quick.
He didn't even think about it, even with the 7 out there. Any bigger pair?
Hell of a call.
Gutsy raise by Lovelady, but gutsier call by Wren.
Still got, you got more outs than you thought you were going to have.
No, that's how many outs I thought they had.
Oh, really?
Wow. Have I gotten covered?
Lovelady did have more chips than Wren. He's down, but not out.
And with that call, the pros at the table are just licking their chops.
That is poker, boy. That's the poker right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Heart.
I've probably been playing poker now about 2.5 years. Just online, mate, and then just fun games with friends. Took it a bit seriously towards the end of uni. So instead of having a bar job, I just played poker and then made a little bit more and just thought, well, why not do it full time? I won a package with Betfair to go to the World Series. Like I'm like 405th, something like that. Cash for 30k, and I just thought, well, why not take it seriously? A bit better than a day job. And then I've just taken it from there. This is possibly, one of the hardest fields in the world today, so I've found that I wanted to play this event. And realistically, I'm probably not going to win this tournament, or who knows? I mean, one double up and I'm right there.
Not quite, Joe. After that last hand, you're going to need about 5 double-ups. Still, hope springs eternal. Ace-5 offsuit for Kenny Tran.
And he's going to open the pot with a raise from late position. I don't blame him.
And on the button, Jamie Gold with Queen-9, also offsuit.
Well, I believe in defending your button. He's got position, but Queen-9 offsuit, that's a stretch. Jamie's given Kenny Tran action. That's the one player at the table I wouldn't want to play a pot with, because Kenny Tran is also a great player. I try to pick on the weak players.
That's it. Well, the blinds have got out of the way. They want to leave these two big dinosaurs to do battle. Not much there. A gut shot draw for Kenny.
Well, this is a problem with a flop like this, and Kenny bets 2,000. Jamie instantly calls. A player like Kenny Tran might charge again at this kind of a pot. Nope, he checks. And now Jamie takes the lead, bets 4,000. Well, Kenny Tran's got a tough decision, but he still has an overcard to the board and a gut shot straight. So I can see flat calling here, but the only problem is if he blanks on the river, what can he do? Of course, he knows Jamie Gold's been playing a lot of really bad hands and running a lot of bluffs. And he makes the call.
Well, the alarm bell should be ringing now for Jamie Gold.
7 of spades on the river. You know, Kenny Tran could represent the spades here, but he chooses not to. He checks. Wow, and Jamie Gold only bets 6,000. You know, I know what Jamie's thinking. He's trying to disguise this to make it look like it's a value bet. So I like that, but I would have value bet about 12,000 because you got to put enough pressure on Kenny Tran to get him out of the pot. Still a tough call for Kenny Tran, but since Kenny has the ace of spades, it looks like Jamie probably couldn't be on a flush draw.
Yeah, he's getting about 3.5 to 1 to call with his ace high.
You know, this is a really tough spot for Kenny Tran. This is one of those 50-50. You toss a coin, hope for the best. Jamie Gold's known to bluff, so he could be bluffing here. And if Jamie starts talking, he might talk Kenny Tran into making this call.
Well, Kenny giving him the stare down. And makes the call.
Wow, what an incredible call by Kenny Tran.
You're going to have to turn it over.
No one wants to show it. First one over wins.
And he has an ace.
I should have put you all in. I knew you had nothing.
I don't think he should have put them all in, but he definitely should have bet some more.
What, should I not bet when you have nothing? Am I not supposed to bet?
Kenny Tran wins.
I'd be an idiot not to bet.
Jamie Gold's right about this hand, but didn't bet enough.
That's a great bet. No? I should just go away when you have ace high? You don't think that's a good bet?
That's a great bet.
I knew you had nothing.
But Kenny Tran had just enough.
As day 1B draws to a close, someone who's come from nowhere is Patrick Antonius. The Finn has joined our chip leaders, finishing in 4th behind Lamsa, Yilmaz and Phil Helmuth. Lalish, Tran and Gold still very much in touch. And look, Martin Johnson's still there. Can miracles happen? Well, if they're going to, he'll need to get past a day 2 that's brimming with feminine glamour as the women of poker try to prove they've got what it takes to win this thing.
I'm not even sure if they look at me and think I'm a female anymore.
Join Harmon, Helmuth, Hansen and a horde of others next time at the World Series of Poker Europe, presented by Betfair.com.